The truth is that your social anxiety is actually amazing. In fact, you need it in order to become confident. After spending 20 years dealing with social anxiety, overcoming it, and earning a psychology degree to better understand myself and help others through it, I've discovered how to easily stop your social anxiety from making you socially awkward. So in this video, I'll show you the hidden truth behind why you need your social anxiety and how to finally take control of it so that you can feel confident and comfortable and around anyone in any situation. So first, I'll show you the truth behind why you need your social anxiety. Otherwise, you'll always allow it to control you. Your social anxiety is like a smoke alarm in your mind. The alarm's job is to protect you and alert you that something is wrong or that you're in danger. The problem is that sometimes the alarm is too sensitive and it'll go off even when you accidentally burn some toast or whatever the case may be. In this case, your anxiety will react like something is wrong. Your heart races and your thoughts start to go wild because your mind doesn't know the difference between a real danger and an imagined danger. You need your social anxiety because it's just energy pointed in the wrong direction, trying to keep you safe from possible rejection, failure, or embarrassment. So just like a smoke alarm, you wouldn't get rid of it just because it's going off too much. You would recalibrate it. So what if instead of trying to fight your social anxiety, you learn to use it to your advantage and build confidence? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you. Using the social confidence cheat sheet that I created, we will follow a simple 4-step system to take control of your social anxiety so that you can feel confident in any situation. If you want to follow along yourself, you can grab it using the top link in the description below. To start, I'll show you how step 1 in the system will help you avoid falling back into the negative spiral of overthinking and feeling horrible in social situations so you can finally start taking back control. In Dragon Ball GT, there is a set of Dragon Balls known as the Black Star Dragon Balls. They're different from the normal ones, and instead of granting pure wishes, they're filled with negative energy. Every time they're used, they release that negative energy into the universe, slowly corrupting everything around them. Think of your negative thinking patterns in the same way. Each one releases negative energy into your own world, and it fuels your anxiety. So before you can take control of your social anxiety, your first step is to identify and filter those negative thought patterns that keep fueling your anxiety. Here are the 7 most common negative thinking patterns you need to watch out for. First, there's all or nothing thinking. You see things either as good or bad. There is absolutely no middle ground. For example, this sounds like if I don't sound confident the entire time, the conversation was a failure. Second is overgeneralizing. And this is when believing that one bad moment will always happen again and again. Third is mental filtering, only focusing on what went wrong instead of what went right. The fourth one is discounting the positives. You always downplay your wins or brush off compliments like they don't count. The fifth is jumping to conclusions. You assume that you know what people are thinking and you predict that something bad is going to happen before it actually does. 6 is catastrophizing. This is where you expect the worst case scenario to happen, even though it's unlikely. And then the last one is emotional reasoning. Here's where you begin to believe that your feelings are facts and that when you experience anxiety, that there's something absolutely wrong. Once you identify these thoughts, you simply need to ask yourself, what proof do I have that this is true? And also, what proof do I have that this is not true? By identifying and countering it, you will find that it's just your brain trying to do its best to keep you safe against a non-existent threat. However, just countering the thought does not prevent the emotion that may come along with it. And your emotions are one of the main reasons why your social anxiety is so difficult to control. So this next part of the system will help you to stop repeating the same emotional mistakes that perpetuates your social anxiety. A huge mistake that people make way too often is that they try to brush off the way they're feeling and attempt to avoid negative emotions altogether whenever they can. This is why you avoid social situations, because you don't want to feel uncomfortable emotions that may come along with them. But this only causes those emotions to feel stronger and stronger when you actually do have to face them and experience them. Something we have to remember is that emotions are just energy in motion. It is impossible to avoid feeling emotions, so we must learn to lean in and accept it, which is step 2. Lean in and accept those feelings. Even though every fiber of your body will be trying to fight against you, you must lean into the emotions that you're dealing with. To do this, you must pause and allow yourself to feel the emotion, but don't react. Ask where it's coming from in your body and allow it to sit there and even validate it. Say to yourself, I feel anxious or worried right now, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that this thought is true. Doing this calms your nervous system in the moment and allows you to tackle social situations with a clear mind and spirit. However, if you don't address the deeper cause behind your negative thoughts and uncomfortable emotions, they'll keep working together to bring back and fuel your social anxiety. In this next step, I'll show you the hidden signal and what it is and how understanding it will keep you from feeling awkward and unsure in every conversation. Your social anxiety will only go off when there is a perceived danger going on around you and it doesn't just appear out of thin air. There is a false narrative that is distorting your worldview and leading you to awkwardness. Think of it as a bad pair of glasses that you see the world through. It's a filter where every thought you have, every feeling that you experience, and every action you take is derived from. Every negative thought and uncomfortable emotion that you have is like a smudge on those glasses. And over time, your entire pair becomes covered with them. If you never clean the glasses, you keep bumping into things that only reinforce your social anxiety. So we have to understand where those smudges come from and that actually clouded the glasses. And until you can spot them and clear them, your perception of the world will always stay distorted. You'll keep falling back into social anxiety. The hidden reason your negative thoughts and uncomfortable emotions surface is because of the poor internal beliefs you hold about yourself. So, step 3 of turning social anxiety into confidence is to identify your inner belief. But how exactly can you do that? To do this, you will use what is known as the downward arrow technique. This is a psychological technique that helps a person uncover their core beliefs that drives thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. To use this technique, you will simply take the negative thought patterns you fall into and simply ask yourself, why do I think like that? And then follow up with, what do I think that means about me? And after spending some time to explore those answers, you may discover that you may believe that you're not likable, or that you're just an awkward person, or that you believe that you're a failure. By understanding your belief, you can see how you move through the world. And if you believe negative things, you would naturally try to find negative things to support your inner negative belief. We will only ever act in accordance to what we think about ourselves and nothing more. If you're following along with the confidence cheat sheet that you can get using the link in the description, I added a little diagram that shows more examples of possible false beliefs that you can fall into to help guide you through deeper understanding. Gaining understanding allows you to grab hold of all this anxious energy that you experience so that in the next step, you can properly redirect it to confidence. One of the reasons social anxiety persists is because your brain believes that social situations are unsafe and that something is wrong. So in order to prove to your brain that it's okay to feel safe and confident and comfortable socially, you must expose yourself to social situations more often. But you don't do this by just throwing yourself into random situations like you may have done in the past. Think of it like when Goku would try to get stronger in the gravity chamber. He started off light, but as time went on, he got stronger and he eventually raised the gravity and the stakes. Social confidence works in the same way. You redirect all that anxiety into confidence by following step 4, shrink the action. You simply need to ask yourself, what is the smallest possible step I can take towards this goal? If your goal is to become more confident and comfortable during conversations, start by simply making eye contact with someone and smiling or saying hello to them. When you do this and you gradually expose yourself to social situations, you teach your brain that they are safe and you're less likely to spiral. The key here to remember is that you don't need to be confident before you take action or push past your boundaries. You simply learn to understand them and use your social anxiety to take action and create your confidence. But there's one more bonus step that will solidify your confidence and show you why your social anxiety is actually amazing. As we established earlier, your social anxiety is tied to a negative inner belief about yourself. Belief is forged and reinforced by the actions you take. And now that you've taken action by using your social anxiety to your advantage, you're ready for the final bonus step. Tie it to your identity. Every time you make an effort towards the goal of overcoming your social anxiety, you need to take the time to celebrate yourself. You have to acknowledge the growth you've experienced. When you acknowledge your growth, you teach your brain that you're no longer the anxious person that you used to be. You're actually becoming someone new, one action at a time. So now that you know why your social anxiety is actually amazing, you can grab the social confidence cheat sheet using the top link in the description below and use it to become confident and comfortable in any social situation. However, your social anxiety will continue to persist if you don't know how to stop your endless overthinking. So click the video on your screen now to learn how to put an end to the overthinking that's fueling your social anxiety forever.